Everybody knew from very beginning he was killed, but it was very important to prove it.
Now, the UK and European allies have said the Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny was killed by dart frog toxin following analysis of material samples discovered in his body. Here is the UK Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper speaking to Sky News from Munich Security Conference.
We have together found the evidence of this lethal toxin that was found in Alexei Navalny's body at the time he died. And only the Russian regime had the motive, the means and the opportunity to administer this lethal poison while he was in prison in Russia. They wanted to silence him because he was a critic of their regime, and that's why we have exposed this barbaric Kremlin plot to do so and made sure that we have done so with evidence as well.
Unsurprisingly, the TASS news agency in Moscow has dismissed these findings as an information campaign. Well, let's welcome to the show Marina Litvinenko, a widow of Alexander Litvinenko, who was poisoned by radioactive polonium-210. Marina, thank you for giving us your time. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me.
Marina, what do you make of the announcement you heard yesterday? How did it make you feel?
First of all, it's very important for family of Alexei Navalny to receive this news. Everybody knew from very beginning he was killed, but it was very important to prove it. And I'm very glad UK became the major role to say this, and everything that was investigated, and now it was pronounced. Alexei Navalny was killed in prison in Russia.
How did it make you feel when you heard that news?
Of course, I'm glad family of Alexei Navalny should not wait for 10 years as us. We knew from very beginning about material as radioactive polonium. Everybody knew radioactive polonium was used in London, in the street of London. It was British citizens who was killed by polonium, but we could not say it's Russia. Only after trial in a High Court of Justice, when Sir Robert Owen pronounced during public inquiry, is that definitely Russia stayed behind of this crime, when it's two Russian agents who killed Alexander Litvinenko. And very highly likely it was with the knowledge of Vladimir Putin and director of FSB, Nikolai Patrushev. We might say this officially. But now we should not wait for 10 years, not even for months. No, it was like 2 years, of course, but without even trial, without court. But I think it's not end of the story, because justice system in Russia, it's impossible. Alexei Navalny was killed in Russia, and to bring this case for justice in Russia, what you already said, it was dismissed by Russian authorities. And this is the question, what is next? How this news might be used more effectively compared to us when we said it was an act of radioactive nuclear terrorism. First time. Nothing happened. Then it was Salisbury. It was a family of Skripal who been assassinated to kill with a nerve agent. Again, it was a chemical weapon. And what happened? Nothing. And this is third time when we can listen about Russians' crime. What do you have to do? This is another question.
How do you think this story plays out in Russia itself? Would it play out at all? I mean, you mentioned and I mentioned that the TASS news agency said, oh, this is a misinformation campaign carried out by the West. But will this announcement have any significance within Russia at all, where opposition is all but obliterated now?
It's very sad to say for whole Russia, it might be not a big difference, but it still be a lot of people who remember Alexei Navalny. And for most of them, Alexei Navalny, it was a hope. One day they might have an honest leader of the country, what they might change anything. And it was proved 2 years ago when it was a funeral of Alexei Navalny, and system was already very tough and aggressive. But these people were brave to come for this funeral. It was a long, long queue just to wait to say last word goodbye to Alexei Navalny. It means people might be silent. They might go for demonstration. They even can't make a big difference to say something against the war in Ukraine. But it's still these people in Russia.
Marina, you were talking about how difficult that would be if to get any sort of justice in Russia itself. What would you like to see happen in the wider context within the European community, from the United Kingdom, our government? Where are we falling short when it comes to dealing with Vladimir Putin?
Of course, for me, it started a long time ago when my husband started his own campaign, but he never been politician. He was a professional who tried to secure country where we received political asylum and secure European countries against organized crime from Russia. But he lost this battle. He was killed. I tried to bring his case as example what might happen to people who try to say something against of this regime. They just would be killed. But again, it didn't help because it was not political will. It was not enough political power to stop business with the criminal Russia, stop communicate with Russia. And now only when we have this war in the middle of Europe and when 1,000 people died, I don't understand how this news about death of Alexei Navalny became a big shock for everybody. Mm-hmm. But when you ask any Ukrainian what they do feel about this, when they have every day killing numbers of civilian or soldiers in the territory of Ukraine. And I remember how it was from very beginning tried to call Russia as a country supporting terrorism. And I think is the right time now. It's not sanctions. It's not nothing how we disappointed. It needs to be a very serious understanding. We are having deal with a country who supported terrorists, who is killing people in Ukraine, who using chemical weapon, who used nuclear weapon. And this is all, I think it's enough, and it might change everything, how we will describe Russia for now.
Well, Marina, thank you for giving us your time. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak to us. Thank you. Marina Litvinenko there, widow of Alexander Litvinenko.